All right, y'all. So let's put all those notices to work, and let's use the area model and these different noticings to actually help us factor. All right. So let's go ahead and factor 2x squared minus 9x plus 9. Okay. So how we're going to do this is we're going to create the area model and work backwards. We're going to deconstruct and create a puzzle. So go ahead and draw an empty area model box. Okay, I'm going to do just like this. What's the first thing that you noticed? You should remember. Okay, you should be able to look back. The first term always goes in box 1. The last term always goes in box number 4. Okay, cool. I now know 2 things about box 2 and 3. I know that box 2 times box 3 has to equal what? You should look up here and be like, oh, it has to equal the same thing as box 1 times box 4, which is 18x squared. But for our purposes, all we care about is the 18. 2 times 9 is 18. So whatever this times this is going to be, it's going to be an 18. Okay? And now there's one more thing that I know about boxes 2 and 3. Besides, when I multiply them, I get 18. Well, when I add box 2 and 3, it should equal this middle term, which is negative 9. Okay, and again, we're most concerned with the middle term, which is negative 9. It's actually negative 9x, okay? So now we can do a little number puzzle. This probably should look familiar. I need 2 numbers that multiply to get 18, and I need 2 numbers that add to get negative 9. You figure out what those 2 numbers are. Cool. Hopefully you just did that and you were like, well, let's see. 1 times 18 is 18, but that's not going to give me 9. 2 times 9 is 18. That's not going to give me 9. 3 times 6. Ooh. 3 and 6. Okay? 3 times 6 is 18, but it's not negative 9. But negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18, and negative 3 plus negative 6 are negative 9. Boom, bam, bow, surprise. That means this is a negative 3x. This is a negative 6x. Now I just got to do a little puzzle. And I'm going to start by looking at box number 1. Here's what I'm thinking. There's only one, there are not too many ways to multiply to get 2. Right? My only options are 1 times 2. So my question is, does 1 go here or does 1 go here? And I'm trying to figure that out. So here's what I look at. If I put the 1 here, 1 times something could give me 2, and 1 times something could give me negative 6. So that works. That's fine. But if I put the 2 here, 2 times something can give me 2, but 2 times no whole number is going to give me a negative 3. That means that's a bad choice for where to put that. So I think I need to switch them. My 1 needs to go here. That's a 1x. And my 2 needs to go here. That's a 2x. So what do I have? 1x times 2x gives me my 2x squared, which I have there. And now 1x times what number here is going to give me negative 3x. Hopefully you just figured out that that number can only be negative 3. 1x times negative 3 is negative 3x. Okay? Now I got to work down this. Okay? So I'm saying, okay, well, 2 times 1x is going to give me, 2x times 1x is going to give me 2x squared. And 2x times what right here is going to give me negative 6x. That's going to be a 3, but it has to be a negative 3. So I'm looking pretty good so far. Now let me check. Negative 3 times negative 3 gives me the positive 9 for this spot. So I have now officially factored this piece of the equation. So I can see that my two factors are 1x minus 3, which I got from right here, and 2x minus 3, which I got from up here. So the factors of this are x minus 3 and 2x minus 3. I just used those noticings and the area model to factor this quadratic right here. Let us do one more. I want you to try to factor this next one. So it says, is this the same thing? I swear this is not the... Oh, haha, cool. Okay, so let's try this next one here. It says 9x squared plus 30 lies and deceit. Sorry, guys. My bad. It says 3x squared plus 10x plus 8. First thing I want you to do, boom, 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 come here, fill in your area model, fill in the stuff you know. And I want you to tell me blank times blank equals what, and blank plus blank equals what. Okay? So hopefully you just filled that in before I did, and you said, okay, that's box 1, 3x squared. That's box 4, 8. You know that box 2 and 3, when I multiply them together, they should be the same as 3 times 8. So blank times blank has to equal 24. And you should know box 2 and 3, when I add them together, should give me the middle term. So blank plus blank should equal 10. You're halfway there. So now I got to do this little number puzzle, and I say, okay, they're going to multiply to get 24. I need two numbers that are going to add to get 10. Why don't you figure out what those two numbers are? Well, 8 times 3 is 24, but 8 plus 3 is not 10. 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 plus 4 is 10. All right, so now I know that this has to be a 6x. This has to be a 4x. I am in business. Now I just got to do a little thinking. There's only one set of options to get something times something that equals 3. 3 times 1. So it's just a question of where does it make most sense to put the 3, and where does it make most sense to put the 1. Hopefully you're seeing, well, if I put the 1 here, that's going to be fine. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 4 is 4. But if I put the 3 here, I'm going to see that 3 times 1 is 3, but 3 times nothing is going to give me 4. So that's a bad place for the 3. I'm going to go with the 1. So I'm going to put a 1x here. I'm going to put a 3x here. Now I'm working from this 3x. 3x times 1x is 3x squared. 3x times what is going to give me 6x? And we should know that that's going to be a 2. All right? Now I have 1 times what here is going to give me a 4. Well, that's a 4. Okay, so 1x times 4 is 4x. And I see that 4 times 2, which is this box right here, is going to give me an 8 in that box. So this looks good. So I'm sitting here dreaming about Lear jets and coupes, and I see 3x plus 4 right here. And I see 1x plus 2 out here, meaning the factors of this became 3x plus 4 times x plus 2. Factors. You just factored this last one, okay? Now, this is, okay, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to stop it right there. You guys did a good job. Make sure you do the homework. And you don't have to do this full factoring for the homework. All you have to do is factor out the GCF. We'll be doing the full factoring in class tomorrow. Great job. Thank you guys for doing this. Don't be freaked out about pre-calc, and I'll talk to you soon.